Hi, I'm Dan Schmitt. I do a motorcycle racing TV show, Team Chicago Challenge. My email, teamdan45@gmail.com. My website, teamchicago.tv. I'm at Mid-Ohio. AMA Vintage Days. It's a huge event. So I'm going to shoot some of the road racing practice or whatever. I'm racing tomorrow at Ashland, so that's going to be part of the show. Maybe one of the biggest swap meets in the world is here. I'm going to go through the swap meet. It's a huge event. Thousands and thousands and thousands of motorcyclists having a great time right here at Mid-Ohio. Don't forget my email, teamdan45@gmail.com. Mid-Ohio is a national championship road course located approximately in the middle of Ohio. This event, the road race part of it, they are running approximately 27 classes and sidecars. Now, some of these classes are AMA vintage classes, and some of the classes are the Wearer classes. My good friend Evelyn and Sean are running this operation for the AMA. They own and run WERA, Western Eastern Road Race Association. So they're combining some vintage classes and some modern classes. 2 days of racing on Saturday and Sunday. Today is Friday. They have practice sessions on Friday for the different classes, vintage bikes and modern bikes, 2 strokes, and majority of the bikes are 4 strokes. And I take a look in the garage area, and the first thing I spot are some side hacks. Now, side hacks in the early days were a motorcycle with an outrigger or a sidecar on it. These modern side hacks are a unit construction 3-wheel vehicle. You can see they have caging to help with the monkey or the counterweight person to hold on to. This is how these get around the racetrack with the counterweight person riding. This looks like a big engine Kawasaki in this side hack. A very great looking bike is this Kawasaki twin cylinder. It's either a 350 or a 250 rotary valve engine. That's why the carburetors are sticking out the side. It's the type of bike that my friend, the late great Jim Kirstein, took second place in the 100-mile combined race at Daytona Beach back in 1970, I believe. A couple brand new Kawasaki's. They look like they're 600cc bikes. Ninjas. Another great looking vintage 4-cylinder. And then I spot this Lester wheel 4-cylinder Kawasaki vintage endurance bike. Let's talk to John Blike. He knows everything about this motorcycle.
I'm John.
John what?
John Blike from Akron, Ohio, and I'm part of the Summit County Vintage Racers team. We've been together since 1971. We've been racing 4-cylinder Kawasaki's since '73. So this is our 50th anniversary here, and we're celebrating it. But we brought the Lester Wheels bike with us, and we're calling it now. In 1977, it was the first American entry into 24 hours of Boule d'Or, France. The fuel system on it for fueling it is a double dry brake. And I'm saying it here that it's pretty bold, but it's the first one ever.
Right.
I mean, you know, after that, it became the standard, and every endurance team in the world uses that system right there.
So who built that bike originally?
Originally, the chassis was built in California by a guy named Bob Bain. Mm-hmm. And Bob went, and he built a dozen of them at most.
Right.
Mostly Kawasaki, some Suzuki, 4-cylinders. It's a monoshock, single big back tube chassis, and we had a group of engineers from Akron at the time in the 70s. 76 was when they first started it, but they got together with him and they worked together. They they fine-tuned all his ideas.
So how did he finish in that race?
Well, both engines blew up.
Oh, right,
yeah,
right,
but
right.
they were there.
Right.
Both engines blew up after 3 hours.
Right.
They turned out to be faulty pistons. They got in a hurry building.
Right.
You know.
All good plans of mice and men.
Yes.
So Lester wheels, though, that was about the year they came out with the Lester wheels.
They were out, yes. And Tom Lester saw the team at Nelson's Ledges in '74. They won the 24-hour, and he picked them up as a ride then.
Right.
So Lester was a very rich man, and he liked to do that. So that's where you get your money.
Thank you, John, for their inside information. We look at a couple twin cam Hondas. One looks like a 750, the other one looks like a 1000. Here we're looking at a Honda Hawk set up for road racing. A 6-cylinder CBX. Boy, that's got to be a handful on this race course. But I know it's probably very fast. This rider here looks like he's got 5 motorcycles, number 787. He's going to be busy over this weekend. And now I head over to the infield where the AMA tent is. There is also a tent set up by the National Triumph Owners Club. We'll take a look at those bikes later on. But the AMA 10, they're having a silent auction, and they have selling raffle tickets for a couple bikes. I don't know if I won or not, if they had the drawing. And now we're seeing Steve Weiss, factory Honda, that he won the National at this track back in 1983 on May 21st. I was also running the AMA Superbike Series in 1983. I was riding the 750 Seika built by Jim Rashid from 4 and 6. The Honda is a B4. The Seika was an inline 4. Let's talk to Steve Weiss. I'm with Steve Weiss, who is the Grand Marshal of this whole event, the AMA Vintage Days. And I should point out, he's the only AMA racer that's won a national road race, and he's won a supercross race, and he's won a national motocross. Anything else add in there?
And the Superbike National as well.
Oh yeah, I remember that too. You see why Okay, all right, so the story I want to tell, he's here so he can testify. We were at Road America, 1983. We had the Honda factory ride, and I was riding the Yamaha Seika, 750 Seika, but he had a drive shaft. Jimmy Rashid at 4 and 6 bought that bike, wanted to go drag racing. I said, Jimmy, drag racing is boring. We got to go road racing. So I already did some road racing on my Rocket 3 BSA. So we built that bike to go racing. I ran the Superbike race, the 100-mile race down at Daytona. I ran as far up as 14th, and then I had vision around my dropped out. I didn't really have Okay. So, Road America. The only thing I want to brag about, we're out in practice. We had 4-lap practice. Steve was right in front of me. Roberto Pietri was behind me. I'm no great road racer. That Seika, and that's why I want to mention it, that Seika was so fast that I could keep up with the factory Honda and stay ahead of another factory Honda. But then I had ignition problem there too, and I didn't use the fire. So tell me about your whole career. You got into motocross first, and then Honda got you into doing road racing. Did you ever do dirt track?
Yeah, I never rode the road before, but you know, I rode as a young man. My father got me into racing motorcycles, and then through the series of circumstances, Team Honda eventually hired me in '78, and then my career kind of sprang up from there. And then, of course, after I won the Superbikers event in Carlsbad, California, that's when Honda asked me to come do road racing. and be part of that. And then, that's kind of what my success. And I won this race right here.
Oh, you did win.
I won this race.
I don't like this track.
40 years ago, I
Thank
won this
you,
national.
Steve, for letting me relive some old memories. Back in '83, I believe I ran 5 AMA Superbike Nationals. The Seika ran great at Brainerd, but all the races I never finished better than in the top 20. At Mid-Ohio here, Buzz Pritz, my friend, let me ride his 4-cylinder Honda. But this Honda here is a V4 Interceptor, and they did make great horsepower back in 1983. And now I spot the Wall of Death, and I had the opportunity to check this out. And after the show, I had a chance to catch up with the young rookie that goes by the stage name of J.R. Sparks. Let's hear his comments about riding the Wall of Death.
I too?
Yeah, I'm on the go-kart.
How'd you learn?
What's up?
How'd you learn how to ride?
Well, they taught me on here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so they basically just taught me the basics of getting up on the wall in the go-kart, and everything I know now, I've learned doing in front of people, doing shows.
Okay, what's your name?
I'm Quentin.
Quentin?
Yeah, Quentin Doucette. They call me J.R. Sparks on stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's listen in as Quentin explains his story to a local reporter.
Well, I'm Quentin Doucette. They call me J.R. Sparks on stage. And I'm the rookie. I'm the go-kart rider.
Awesome. What is the Wall of Death? What are we seeing here?
Well, the Wall of Death originally was board track racing, and they thought, hey, what if we made it steeper? And it's been around since, I think, 1913 or 1912 World's Fair.
Wall of Death. I would like to try that someday. Now let's look at some beautiful British motorcycles. First, we got a 1969 Bonneville, and I did have a Bonneville, a 68. This one here is a 66 Bonneville. You can tell the different years by the front brake. Lovely looking bikes, well preserved. This one here is a Rickman, 1972 Rickman with a Matisse engine, a special made motocross chassis by the Brits. We're now looking at a 57 T20C, the competition model, 200cc single cylinder, and this is the engine and bike that would have carried Gary Nixon to 3 national wins at Santa Fe Speedway. And now we're looking at a military James, a 125 two-stroke that was made during World War II. Never seen anything like this. What a nice piece. And now we're looking at an 82 Bonneville with an electric start. If you look at the side cover, you see it's a little extended and the starter is mounted behind the cylinder. And now we spot this 1956 TR6C. It's a single carb engine with up pipes, so it was sort of considered a competition model of a 650 Triumph. And this is a 500cc Tiger, also with up pipes and a single carburetor. A great selection of beautiful British motorcycles. And now we're going to head over by the swap meet. This swap meet is huge. It is approximately 1/3 mile by 1/3 mile. Hundreds of sellers, tens of thousands of parts, thousands of motorcycles for sale at this Mid-Ohio swap meet. This is a totally restored Kawasaki 250, 1989. They're asking $3,800 for this dirt bike. Then I spot this Yamaha Trials bike. I've got one of them at home. I gotta get that bike running someday. They're asking $2,600 for this bike. They got a Suzuki Trials bike right next to it. And I spot this yellow Osa, got a Pioneer 250. And I also spot these parts for MR50 Honda, and I have a MR50. I gotta get a hold of this guy and talk to him about his parts. But now we're gonna talk to an old friend of mine, Dan Anderson.
Daniel Anderson. I'm a swap meet attender. I've made 25 bucks today. I'm doing great.
So what do they charge for a spot here?
$220, I believe it
For
is.
3 days though, right?
Yeah, right.
3 days.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get as much space as you want basically for that amount?
I think it's 20 by 30.
Okay.
20 by 30. It's been real good selling stuff. Not this year, but many years.
Right.
It's still young.
Right.
But I've done really well here. A lot of good sales.
So you got some, so like this Honda Dream, right?
Yes, that's a dream. It
So-
doesn't look like it, but it is.
So what's a Honda Dream worth nowadays? Does it run?
No, look at it. It's a hunk of crap.
Right. But you got $650 for it?
Yeah, I don't know what else. I'm going to take it home probably and get it running. It was just
Well, it's always worth more if it's running, right?
That's right. It's something my brother bequeathed to me.
So what's it? So a 4-cylinder is a 500?
76.
Oh, it's
1976.
750.
750.
Single cam.
CB 750 single overhead cam.
So
And it was a hunk of junk when I got it.
so it is worth 42 running.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just walking around.
I sold a 71 here last year for 9,500 bucks.
So what was the first? Oh, 69 was the first year. So what if you had a sand cast motor? What are them things worth?
Well, it's a long story, but 25,000 to 35,000.
For a stand cast motor.
Yeah.
I had a friend that had one. I don't know what he did.
Not a
with it.
motor, a whole bike.
Yeah, the whole bike. Right. Right.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Dan, for the info. As we spot this nice looking 400 IT Yamaha two-stroke and a Kawasaki, we swing over and we spot a few more bikes. And a Harley Davidson. Like I stated, there's probably 1,000 motorcycles for sale at this one event, AMA Vintage Days at Mid-Ohio. And then I spot some items. They look like they belong to the rookie class of 79. A couple of my good friends that raised money, and I had a chance to talk to Jackie Mitchell.
Hi, I'm Jackie Mitchell, and I'm here with Back on Track Charity, Rookies of 79, and we are here selling memorabilia, just trying to turn stuff that we had in the warehouse into cash.
Right.
Helping injured riders. 100% of the proceeds that we bring in goes to injured racers,
Right.
and we also we also help amateur racers, besides being the official charity of American Flat Track
Right.
and also Moto America. We also help injured amateur racers, and so that keeps us very busy.
So this is stuff that you guys have had and in the warehouse?
This is stuff that we've
Is
accumulated.
this the first time you've been here?
It is, and
Okay.
this is stuff that we've accumulated over the last 13 years.
Right.
So we have a tremendous amount of stuff, and it was just time for us to kind of, as I said, turn it into cash.
Right. So how much money have you guys raised over the 13 years?
I think we've raised close to $3 million over the last 13 years.
Right.
And you know, it's never enough. So
Right.
it's something that we continue to struggle with. This year we've had a lot of guys getting hurt. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of hooligan racers this year hit the ground.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, there aren't enough races. So people don't get to race enough races to really...
Not like in our day.
Not like in our day.
In our day, when we could run
We
4
were-
or 5 days a week.
We were blessed.
It was.
We
We had a lot of fun, Dan.
Yes,
so
yes.
it was a great time to be. But you know, the series today, I believe, is on and up.
Right.
I think what American Flat Track is doing and what Jim France is doing, obviously with his support, being on television. It's what the series needs, and you know, we're the best motorsports racing in the world, and unfortunately not enough people know about it.
Right. Okay, well, great talking to you. I'll see you at
again.
Springfield.
We'll be
I'm
there.
going to run the short track.
All right, I'll be there with you, my friend.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie, and thanks to other members of the class of 79, including Charlie Roberts, Ronnie Jones, Scotty Parker. I didn't make expert until 1980. But you're all good friends of mine, and now we spot the Penton motorcycle group, but I don't see any of the Penton boys here. I should point out that Penton motorcycles were made in Germany. Some had Sash motors, some had KTM motors, but they wanted to build the best enduro bike, and Penton motorcycles will always be remembered as some of the greatest motorcycles in the 70s and into the 80s. And now we're looking at, over by the motocross track, but they're only using part of the track, this is the pit bike race. There's a 50cc class. James Bowen from Pennsylvania won it. Pelton Morris from Bay Village, Ohio was second, and third was Bodie Dockley from Continental, Ohio. Then there was the 125 class. Now check that, the 110 class. Picking up the win in that was Anthony Sansoda, and he's from Costa Mesa, California. Then we got Parker Weiss was second, and he's from Mingo Junction, Ohio. And Ethan Dybeck is from Kennett Square in Pennsylvania. The 125 pit bike race was won by Nick Mosher from New Albany, Ohio. Preston Schilling from Mingo Junction, Ohio was second. And Andrew Combs, he's from Marquette, Michigan. He finished third in the 125 pit bike race. And then they had a women's class, and it was Katie Goodman from Pittsburgh, PA, racing with number 45, I should point out, that picked up the win. Lacey Hovick from Avonmore, PA, was second, and Kaylin Dasher from Oak Ridge, New Jersey, finished third place. I had a great time at Mid-Ohio. For information on the AMA, American Motorcyclists Association, their website is AmericanMotorcyclist.com. Protecting our rights to own, to ride, and to race motorcycles. For information on WERA, Western Eastern Road Race Association, America's road race leader, it's WERA.com is their website. On Facebook, go to WERA Motorcycle Road Racing. For Mark Young, the 57riderdevelopment.com. At Mid-Ohio, they call it Performance Track Riding. The website at Mid-Ohio is midohio.com. Courses, motorcycles, Performance Track Riding. Mark Young's website is 57riderdevelopment.com. Contact me, and I love to hear from my audience. It's teamdan45@gmail.com. Remember, you can always search on YouTube with Dan Schmitt. Motorcycle racing for great motorcycle racing action. Dan Schmitt Politics to learn what makes America great. And I highly encourage you to visit the World of Motorcycle Museum. They're in Winamac, Indiana. They're on Indiana Highway 39, 4 miles south of North Judson. Give them a call first at 574-896-3172. It's a great trip and a great collection of motorcycles. And pick up your Team Chicago information package at Rich's Yamaha in Lockport, Illinois. Give them a call first at 815-838-8130. I made a deal with them to carry the Team Chicago information package.